Republican side, Senators Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, they've already thrown their hats in the ring, and it is expected that Governor Jeb Bush may soon follow. Will any of these candidates help the GOP win over the Latino vote? Joining us now, anchor of the Fusions America with Jorge Ramos. Jorge Ramos is back with us. Sir, how are you? Good to see you again.
Great to be back. Thanks for the invitation.
You know, we hear about Barack Obama, America's first black president. Hillary saying, isn't it time for a woman president? You've got two candidates, Senator Rubio, Ted Cruz, would be the first Hispanic president of the United States. You don't hear a lot about that.
They would be, and they're making history.
They'd make
they're
history.
Really making history.
Great history, right?
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we hear as much about that?
Well, because I think both Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Marco Rubio, they decided to follow the book of Barack Obama. In other words, Barack Obama didn't run as an African-American candidate, and both Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio had decided not to run as Hispanic candidates. However, it is truly unprecedented. This is the new normal. It is maybe not surprising to many, but for our community, for the Latino community, it is huge that we have two candidates. Now, what's ironic, Sean, is that both are Cuban Americans when the majority of the community among Latinos is Mexican-American, and both are Republicans. And as you know, Latinos tend to vote more for Democrats than for Republicans.
Yeah, I know we always talk about demographics, and I'm not a big believer in identity politics, Jorge, but that's just the reality. If you read any poll, they break it down demographically, men, women, age, etc. But when you look, generally speaking, at the Hispanic community in America, I look at values that I identify with. Hard work, family-oriented, conservative on social issues, deep faith, love of country. But yet the vote, historically, the Latino vote has gone more towards the Democrats than Republicans. Is it the issue of immigration?
It's the issue of immigration. I agree with you when it comes to values. And you know what Ronald Reagan used to say, that Latinos are Republicans. They just don't know it. Republicans, I think they've missed a huge opportunity because when it comes to values, they're very close to the Hispanic community. But Latinos honestly can't see beyond immigration right now because immigration reform is a prerequisite for the Latinos to look at Republicans in a different light. In other words, it's a very simple concept, Sean. People won't vote for a candidate who will deport your father, your friends, your colleagues, and young students. Simply, they won't do that. And definitely, yes, Latinos have been voting more for Democrats than for Republicans. And now with Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Marco Rubio.
Let me give you an example.
The truth is that they won for them just because they are Latinos. They're looking at their policies. And when it comes to immigration, it seems that Jeb Bush has a better possibility of getting the Hispanic vote than Cruz and Rubio. I'm
not so sure if that's the overriding issue for people, but let me throw up on the screen a couple of laws for you, okay? I'll throw up the Australian immigration law, which is no exceptions, no temporary, no permanent protection visas granted to anybody who arrives in Australia by boat without a visa till further notice. That applies to families, children, unaccompanied children, educated, skilled, no exceptions. Then we'll go to Mexican immigration law. The federal executive shall have the exclusive power to compel any foreigner who's remaining that he may deem an expedient to abandon the national territory immediately without the necessity of a previous legal action. And then I want to put up side by side, if you look closely, Australia versus America. Australia, no way. If your family or friends get on a boat without a visa, they will not end up in Australia, which compared to American and written in Spanish, I thought it would be easy for my son to get his papers in the north, blah, blah, blah. Here's my question to you. If you go from Central America, El Salvador, Nicaragua, you name the country, you go to Mexico, you're either put in jail, illegally you enter that country, or you are immediately deported. Why is there this expectation?
The way they treat people in Central America, it's awful. Yeah, it's awful how they treat Central Americans in Mexico.
But
this is an exceptional country, Sean. This is an immigrant country, and
not an illegal immigrant country, though,
in a different way.
Not illegal immigrant country.
It's really human rights.
We believe,
the truth is, Sean, is what are you going to do with 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country? You are not going to deport them, and we've got to treat them fairly. I mean, countries are treating them fairly. Not by the way they treat the rich people. They are judged by the way they treat the most vulnerable. And here we have 11 million who are vulnerable, who are here because millions of Americans, including you and me, benefit from them, and thousands of companies give them work. So we got to do something with them, and we're not going to deport them.
Here's what I
that's
suggest.
Why we have an election now.
I interviewed Marco Rubio right after he made his announcement the other night, and I asked him about this.
And I talked to him today, by the way.
And he was willing to try comprehensive reform. He now regrets it. But this is what he said to me. First, we have to show the American people that we're going to solve the problem and control our borders. Why can't we all agree on one thing? That illegal immigration is hurting our hurting our educational system, it's hurting our health care system and criminal justice system, it's costing us billions of dollars, and that we have a right to secure our borders and who crosses them. And why don't we solve that first? Do you agree with me we should do that?
I agree with you only that we can secure our borders and at the same time deal with those who are already here. And of course, you're always talking about that it is really expensive to have immigrants in this country. The truth is exactly the opposite. Immigrants contribute billions and billions of dollars to the economy of this country. And there are plenty of studies to do that.
But there's also, I was there.
Latinos, and we were talking about the Latinos.
But there's also a criminal element.
Vote for anyone who opposes immigration reform or who opposes DACA. They simply won't vote for them.
So you're saying that even though the Republicans might have the first potential Hispanic president, that they might vote for a Republican who says secure the border first, then deal with those that are here illegally. You're saying that's the extreme position of the Hispanic community in America? I don't believe that.
What I'm saying is that if Rubio and Ted Cruz decide not to support immigration reform...
That's not the truth. I've interviewed them both. That's not true.
I just saw a poll recently. I just saw a poll recently. ABC News. Hillary Clinton versus Jeff Bush. Latinos would vote 71% for Hillary Clinton, 26% for Jeff Bush. The reason mostly has to do with immigration. Again, it's a prerequisite, Sean. Unless we resolve that problem, and unless Republicans
even if it's a Republican, the first Hispanic American president,
to get the 33% of the Hispanic vote that they need to get the White House.
Well, I think that Senator Rubio and Cruz need to articulate that position, because that's not what they're saying, what you're describing. But all right, we got to run. Jorge, good to see you. Thanks for being with us.